Junior Mining Weekly, StockPulse.com production, where we track the action of the equities within the commodity sector. With me to break down the action, Allan Berry of the Allan Berry Reports. Al, before we get to the action, what are you identifying here as the bigger picture of the week?
Well, one of the big things I'm seeing, Rob, is I'm really getting into a groove here with you and these Junior Mining Weekly shows. Our other shows that we're doing, such as the briefs that we do when companies have news. I'm really pumped up about what we're providing here at StockPulse for the viewers, and some really exciting things are happening in the market that I think is going to help make people a lot of money. One of the big picture points that I wanted to make is that last week's Junior Mining Weekly, we talked about a couple of takeovers. Then this week, there was another couple of interesting transactions that have happened. Zijin Mining of China has made a $1.4 billion takeover offer for Continental, CNL. They've got a big gold mine discovery down in Colombia, and it looks like everybody's happy with that deal and should go through without any hitches in the plan, unless, of course, somebody else comes along and wants to make a higher offer. There's another big announcement was Endeavour Mining made an offer to buy Centamin, and then Centamin came back and said, no, we're not interested. So the gloves are really off there, and that one looks like it could get a little hostile. These sort of takeovers and hostile takeovers, they're a good sign of a trend that's developing that I want to talk about later, but definitely some big picture things that are indicative of a much better market ahead for us.
Okay, well, let's get to those equities here. The first one on the list, Amex Exploration, AMX on the venture. Kelly Malcolm, more drill results here from the Perrin project. Run through it.
Yeah, again, Rob, they hit just on Thursday. They announced that in the news release, Amex drills 4.1 meters of 41.3 grams per ton gold at Perrin. That is some sweet looking stuff, and what makes it equally as sweet is that it's real close to surface. So now they're getting the high grade from the top of the system all the way to depth. And if you really look at these kind of systems that they're in, Rob, those kind of systems tend to have a lot of depth extension. And so far, they're only down about 500-600 meters. So they're getting that high grade from the top of the system to the bottom of what they've drilled so far. But they could have 3 to 4 times that depth still wide open. This is a tremendously exciting company and discovery, and one I'm very bullish on, and why we did that Hidden Treasures show with them and why I've made them a pick since they were 50 cents, and I think they got a lot higher to go.
Okay, next one up, Nevada Exploration, NGE on the venture. James Buscard, hopefully get him on the show here next week. Just closed their oversubscribed financing. About to get the truth machine fired up. Run through it.
Yeah, and I'm really excited about this one, Rob, because, in Nevada, all the main deposits so far have been found in the outcropping rock, if you will. But it's the same rock that the rest of the state is sort of under sand and gravel cover that's got the same kind of rock as what you can see up in the mountains and stuff and in the outcrops. But targeting that stuff that's undercover has been very challenging for big mining companies. These guys are trying to unlock that story by using groundwater and the chemicals and the gold that's in the groundwater as a vectoring tool to look undercover. and they've done some very advanced work. Go to their website and look up their corporate presentation, and they'll show you the advanced work they've done to now they're ready to go looking to hit that what's undercover and get into the hard rock part of that, the bedrock part of that, and try to make some discoveries. I think they've got a heck of a chance to make those discoveries, Rob. And if they unlock this kind of a story, they could be looking at finding multi-millions of ounces, not just at where they're focused right now, but all over the place in Nevada. That, like I said, half the state is undercover with the same kind of rocks. It could reopen Nevada in a big way, and these guys kind of got the key to unlock that story. So keep a close eye on NGE. Things could get very exciting very rapidly. Now that they've got the money, they're going to be pounding holes in there, and I'm really liking what I see and the potential. 52-week low is 15 cents, high is 43 cents, currently trading at 25 cents as we tape the show. Rob, if these guys hit, you can look for multiples of that yearly high.
Another one here you like, Osisko Mining, OSK on the TSX, just raised a boatload of money, $61 million financing.
Yeah, they raised. I kind of had a theme with the picks that I made for this show. Amex is kind of a discovery that's bucking the trend of the tax loss selling. NGE is sort of a potential for a new discovery. Osisko is your classic tax loss selling story, but they're a pretty amped up classic in that they just raised $61 million. Yeah, that's $61 million in a bought deal financing. And if you look at the 52-week low, it's 242 on the low, 390 on the high, so much closer to the low than the high. So it's kind of your bit of your tax loss selling. Now, when we just started talking about this company on some of the shows, it's already started to recover from the 52-week low, which was just right around the low. 260 was just in November, so it's coming off of that low already, which makes it a early December recovery for a tax loss selling stock. That's something you want to look for, because oftentimes those that start recovering ahead of the ones that wait until longer into December are a good sign of what's going to happen in January, February. So that's sort of the theme with Osisko, and they've got a great discovery. They're looking for an entire region, and some of the stuff that they've had, like the Windfall, 13 meters. Here's the last couple of headlines. 13 meters of 106 grams per ton gold at Windfall. The one before that, 8 meters of 161 grams per ton gold at Windfall. These guys in the past, they found the Malartic mine, which is an open pit, low grade, big tonnage discovery. Now it looks like they've got a high grade discovery, and in a place where you can have several multi-million ounce type discoveries. So they're really onto something big. That's why they were able to raise 61 million. That's why they're ahead of the tax loss selling recovery, and why I like the company a lot.
Next one up here, McEwen Mining, MUX on the TSX and NYSE, Rob McEwen. Some more drilling here from the Gray Fox. Had him on the plane the other day. It got cut short. Run through this one.
Yeah, this is kind of a dual theme as well. You've got the low of $1.46, the high of $2.84, currently trading at $1.56. So definitely in your tax loss selling trend. But I also believe they're a turnaround play for those that want exposure to mining companies. These guys are a producer. They're run by Rob McEwen, who is one of the most successful mining executives you can find. They've got good projects at Black Fox in Ontario. They just announced 44 meters at 9 grams per ton gold. That's the one that you called Rob on, and he was on the plane getting ready to take off. And again, I mentioned I hope that's a metaphor for the stock, and I think it is, Rob, because I think that McEwen is a oversold tax loss selling victim that is a turnaround play. They just did a $50 million public offering and closed it within 2 days. They've got they got a portfolio up from exploration through to production. They've had some problems with some of their production plays, but I think with the 50 million, they're going to be able to get on top of all that. And I think you're going to see this one have the potential for a pop on the tax loss selling season, getting stronger in January, February. That could take them into a turnaround play for the overall stock and their operations and their exploration. So it's kind of a double whammy there for people.
Okay, $1 in the trend here. Wallbridge Mining, WM on the TSX. Some good drilling here. I know you like them for several reasons.
WM is a buck the trend play. Remember we talked about this in last year's Junior Mining Weekly, Rob, is that, sometimes in trends you're going to see companies that are trading beyond or as bucking that trend. Right now, a lot of mining companies are trading like MUX or OSK, your classic sort of tax loss selling plays. But then you got someone like a Wallbridge who's, 52-week low is 15 cents. Their high is 74 cents. They're making a new 52-week high today while we're talking about them at 78 cents. They've got a power chart that is, classic sort of. They were down at a trending sideways at around 16 cents about a year ago. Then they moved up to a new range that, let's say, was sideways action at an average of about 36 cents. Then in October, they popped into a whole new range, which is 60 to 7, this new high. And what's fueling that action, Rob, is the results. 48 meters. Just the other day, they reported 48 meters of 22.73 grams of gold at their Fenelon project. The last highlight prior to that on drill results, 1.2 meters of 13 grams, 38 meters of 27 grams. So this is a high grade discovery that, the results could take them a lot higher. And with this power chart during the time of the tax loss selling season is a buck the trend type of an action that you definitely want to keep an eye on, because it's suggestive that they could go a lot higher when we get into a more bullish market for gold. And I'm teasing the topic at the end of the show again, Rob, of why I expect that to be coming. So WM is definitely a good one to have on people's shopping lists.
Okay, wrapping up here with GoGold. GoGold trades as GGD on the venture. Some more intersects down in Mexico where you're at. I know we ran through it, had Brad Langell on the show here last week. Run through this one.
Yeah, again, I as I mentioned in the show when we did talk about him just a few days ago, was why I moved down here to Zacatecas, Mexico, is because there's phenomenal geology and cheap costs. And the more I look into this company, GoGold, GGD, I like what I see. I mean, this is an open pit target, but even though it's not like some of those other companies, like I talked about results from WM and OSK and Amex, they've got, for an open pit target, they've got very high grades. Most open pit targets these days, Rob, are looking at less than a gram, between a half a gram and a gram. These guys are hitting things like 33 meters of 2.67 grams, 26 meters at 2.97 grams, 45 meters of 1.41 grams. So for an open pit target, they're looking at very high grades. Something like this could be a serious moneymaker in an open pit type operation. And the more I look into them, the more I'm liking about them. And I'm not the only one. Look at the stock chart. You know, their low is 19 cents. Their high is 80 cents. Currently trading at 63 cents. So that makes them a buck the trend kind of action as well. And you look at the charts over the last 52 weeks, all it's done is made higher highs and higher lows. And when you get into a trend like that, Rob, of higher lows and higher highs, that trend can go on for a long period of time. And I think these guys got something that could fuel that long period of time kind of action of higher highs and higher lows. So definitely one people want to do their homework on and look at adding to their shopping list.
Okay, I appreciate you breaking those equities down. I know seasonality has been the theme here since the show's inception. What are we at with this? Closing on year end, mid-month, I got to believe most of the action's had. Where are we at?
Most of that selling pressure for tax loss is done around the 15th. So let's say a week, 10 days from now. But what's got me really bullish, Rob, is that notice that I'm finding buck the trend plays, and I'm almost finding as many buck the trend plays as I am finding tax loss selling victim plays. And that is a very bullish sign to me. It's reminding me of the 2015 December and then 2016, which we had a great first half of that year where, you know, a lot of these juniors, you know, doubled in price because the price of gold bottomed in December, had a good January effect trend that fueled another 6 months. Well, this time I don't think we're going to see just a 6-month type of a window, and then, you know, from 2016 until earlier this year, things kind of kept on bumping. The price of gold kept on bumping its head on 1350 and failing. Run up to it, fall back, run up to it, fall back. Probably did it 5 or 6 times, Rob, before we got the big breakout earlier this year where we went from, you know, that 1350 and we blasted right through to 1550. And since then we've had a rollover, but we've kept a lot of the gains, which is very bullish. And what I'm seeing in the overall trend is we've got tax loss selling pointing towards higher prices in the new year. We've got a similar action to 2015, 2016, pointing towards that's what we're going through right now, based on, you know, looking at some of these buck the trend plays. But the big picture trend that I'm looking at is 2001 to 2011. We had a decade-long bull market that I think we have already started that when we got into when we bottomed in December 2015 and we started the move upward. And now we're coming into sort of 2003, 4 till 2011. So that was about a 7-year run where it just did like that GGD chart, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, that just keep taking it higher and higher. And that gets us, you know, somewhere into the 2,000 to 5,000 window for the price of gold. And I think we're going to see 2,000 in the first half of 2020, and or at least looking like that's a realistic number. And so I think we've got a lot of indicators for a turnaround in the short term, but that lead us into a big bull for gold into the longer term that could last for multiple years. So this tax loss selling season could be one of the the best we've seen in a long time. And I think that investors want to be loading up on good gold stocks because look at the trends of what are happening worldwide, Rob. We've got negative yields that will keep interest rates down all over the world. In a negative yield world, gold will be king. I've written about this and that's a pound the table theme for me. And because there's so much debt out there, they can't really start raising interest rates because they'll kill whatever economies they raise those interest rates in. So we're in kind of a perfect storm here for gold to go higher. And I think we're seeing plenty of signs that that's exactly what's happening.
Okay, I'll appreciate that breakdown. Before I let you go here, I want you to run through the Allan Berry reports and talk a little bit about what's going on with advanced gold.
Well, the Allan Berry reporting is really turning into StockPulse reporting, Rob. I love what we're doing together, and I think there's some exciting things happening with the new website. And I can see myself hanging my commentary hat here at StockPulse more and more as we keep doing this work. You've really got me jived up with the platform and the work that you can help me do. You're making it really easy for me to do what I do, Rob. So StockPulse is where you can find most of my commentary these days. I always want to plug my own company because I think that running my own junior exploration company makes me quite unique compared to most of the other newsletter writers. All newsletter writers except for myself they write about exploration. They don't actually do exploration. I do exploration as I'm the CEO of Advanced Gold. Right now, we're drilling here in Mexico in Zacatecas State. It's a very exciting state to be in because 10% of the silver ever produced worldwide has come from Zacatecas. We have a historical producing property that Panoles mined back when silver was worth a lot more, and then when it fell out of favor, they moved on to other stuff. They only really mined in the first 80, 90 meters from surface. Our first holes were to drill underneath that. And beside it, we found a network of gold and silver mineralized veins. We wanted to try to find the source of where all that was coming from, so we ran IP geophysics. In the IP geophysics, we found a more than 1,000-meter long by about 500-meter wide continuous chargeability anomaly. What makes that anomaly unique compared to most is that the chargeability is consistent whether you look from east to west or if you go from line to line in the north to south direction. So it's an exciting geophysical anomaly that we're drilling right now. And I'm hoping to have something to talk about on that in the next couple of weeks about how the drilling is going and goes. And so keep your ears open because, again, Advance is sort of a classic tax loss selling victim. We're trading around 6.5. Our range is 6.5. I might as well get this one up there while I'm talking about it. AAX has a range of 5 cents on the low to 14 cents on the high, currently trading at 7 cents. So it's right at the lows, and we're drilling, and it's an exciting project. So we're kind of a tax loss selling victim that has a catalyst that potentially could make be a game changer for our company.
That's it for this week's show. Back next week. If you're a fan of the information, please subscribe to the channel and share the broadcast.